I think they did this thing where you can video chat with the kid one time. We talked for like 10 seconds, and I just said, if you get here, I'll train you. And sure enough, a number of months later, this kid showed up at the gym with a backpack, and he knew 2 words of English. He said, "Me champion." And his story, once I learned more about the backstory, was very impressive. Not in his boxing career, but what he was willing to do for this. One day, William Joppy and I gathered Alex, and we took him downtown to a gym downtown called Headbangers, where Gervonta Davis, who was considered one of the great up-and-comers in the sport, but we wanted to see, and we put him in the ring for sparring down there, and you could instantly see that Alex did things that were uncoachable. He had instincts that were unteachable. He had ring IQ. He was very smart. He knew how to move. He knew how to protect himself. He knew how to box. Right there, we knew that we had something at the very least interesting, and at the very most possibly great. He agreed that I would be his trainer and coach and manager, and eventually he asked if he could live with me. I brought him into my house. During all of this time, there was always concern about his visa, and that we had to make sure that he was here legally and doing everything correctly. And we began this journey together. He lived in a room I had in the house, and he would come and train and work, and our relationship grew from there. And we sort of rallied around Alex and were able to pull this thing off and get his visa taken care of. And during that time, once he was approved, we started fighting him against ever more increasing difficult talent. I paid extra attention for him, if I'm being completely honest. 1, because he had talent. 2 is because he needed somebody here to look after him in the right way. He seemed like somebody who had sacrificed a lot and was willing to do a lot to get his dream, and that was inspiring to me. He also worked really hard in the gym. He trained really hard in the gym. He did these things without hesitation, without recourse. He just did it. He'll often say to me, "You don't have to tell me to work harder, coach. This is for me." And he's not saying it to be defiant. He's saying it because he knows that he has to train hard, not to please me, but for his own life. He's also fiercely confident. He's one of the only fighters I've ever had, amateur or professional, that doesn't really worry too much about who he's fighting. He's got tremendous confidence deep inside. That type of confidence that comes with certain people that just feel it in their soul. That no matter what the situation, no matter who the opponent, that he will find a way to prevail. It's been a 2.5-year, 3-year process. We've had problems, many attempts to undermine our relationship, and up to this point, we've been able to withstand that and to stay close and to stay focused. And we're at the point now where 2 or 3 more fights, and Alex would be situated to make a major step forward, certainly into the top 10 and onto the world stage. My dream is that 20 years, 30 years from now, Alex had been world champion. He'd retired. He'd been smart with his money. He'd had success after boxing. We talk about getting him, a vocation. I'd like him to think that I did right by him, and that I did it for all the right reasons. Not because there was monetary gain in it, but I was living with high purpose. And that's truly my motivation. And I want Alex to think of me in that regard at the end. And then, of course, I want him to think fondly of me as a coach, and I want him to think fondly of me as somebody who helped him reach his goals in life. And that's about it, I think. I think that if those things happen, what more is there? If those things happen, that would be pretty good.